The huge wave of layoffs and game cancellations just hit Sony, and at least one Marvel project is no longer happening. What did you do, Durag Nation? I'm back with super news, bringing you the latest superhero news in 5 minutes or less, because I respect your time if you subscribe. So if this information was valuable, hit the like button so it will reach more people, but if it wasn't for you, change it to a dislike. Beloved developer Insomniac Games just celebrated its 30-year anniversary, along with 50 million units sold of their Spider-Man series, after it was revealed Spider-Man 2 has sold well over 10 million copies in 4 months, and their hard work was rewarded by being forced to fire a bunch of people.
I actually can't believe what I just saw.
Sony is the latest major company to lay off a large number of employees so they can adjust to the changing market conditions. As reported by Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, Sony will be globally cutting 900 jobs, which is 8% of their employees. These include forced layoffs at 3 of their biggest studios: The Last of Us and Uncharted creator Naughty Dog, Horizon's Guerrilla Games, and of course Insomniac, creators of Ratchet & Clank and the Marvel Spider-Man series. It's unknown exactly how many employees every studio was forced to lay off, but according to Bloomberg, Guerrilla had to lay off 10% of its staff, which would come to 40 people. And according to leaked documents from last year, Insomniac was likely forced to let go of even more employees than that. So far, we confirmed Thomas, one of the community managers for Insomniac, was let go, as well as Emma, who served as game designer on Spider-Man 2 and was also working on Marvel's Wolverine, whose release window was already unclear after the massive hack in 2023 that saw the game's entire story, pre-alpha gameplay, a trailer, and a playable build leaked online. We're still waiting on confirmation as to how many devs working on Wolverine were just laid off. The announcement came not long after Sony stock took a hit after they had to adjust the projected number of PS5 sales last year from 25 million units sold to 21 million. Sony also shut down its London studio and canceled several VR games. Speaking of canceled games, Sony also revealed cuts will be made at Firesprite, who were working on a live service Twisted Metal game that Sony wanted out as a way to take advantage of the popularity of the TV show. That game is canceled too. Sony in general seems to have taken a step back from its huge live service investment initially pushed by Jim Ryan, especially after the less than enthusiastic reaction to the newest game from Destiny developer Bungie. But they will likely rethink that to some degree due to the success of Helldivers 2, which so far is the biggest game of 2024. They also, according to Bloomberg, canceled a planned multiplayer Spider-Man game that Insomniac was working on. Sony CEO Jim Ryan expressed in an email to employees that the goal moving forward was long-term sustainability, as rising development costs have been a hot topic among AAA developers who are trying to find a way to produce less expensive games with more financial upside, like EA, who yesterday canceled another upcoming Star Wars game and said they were moving away from licensed games in general and will instead be focusing more on their owned IPs, sports, and live service games, which means we'll be seeing less Marvel games, and Star Wars Jedi 3 could be their last Star Wars game. It's unclear if Sony will be making a similar decision, as EA mentioned the very high licensing fee from Disney as the main reason they were canceling Star Wars Battlefront 3 and the Mandalorian game. With Insomniac reportedly planning even more Marvel games in the future, it's fair to wonder if Sony will force them to scale some of that back after this latest round of layoffs, with the guaranteed moneymakers like Marvel Spider-Man 3 probably safe from getting canceled. We also don't know how this will impact potential story DLC for Spider-Man 2. However, the highly anticipated New Game Plus update is still releasing soon, so if you want some less depressing news, we got some cool new details about what to expect when that update arrives next week. I break that down in the next video on screen.